do this work. Let me show you what I found. So as I was perusing around the internet, I found something I think you're really going to like that you could use for just about any project that you could come across. Today I'm going to build a rack for the van. Now I already built one rack before, but it was too heavy and I wound up giving it away to somebody. It just wasn't suiting my needs. So I need something to hold lights, and I decided to go with solar panels on my van. So I need to hold my solar panels and do some other stuff. Not a heavy duty type thing to haul any gear with, but just mainly just a nice rack. Hey, I came across this thing on social media, like I said, it's called Maker Pipe. And I'm really happy about that. I called the company and talked to Jake, and he actually is an Astrovan enthusiast too, so he just bought one. So we hit it off immediately. So I ordered this starter kit a couple months ago, and just now getting around to taking a look at it. So I just want to open it in front of you guys. I already cut the seal, took a peek inside, but there's something here I really want to show you. So you get this. This is just kind of like a starter's kit. It's got several different fittings. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to build when I ordered it, but anyway, having spent 35 years in the packaging industry, I'm really impressed with the way they've done this. So they got a nice roll-in tuck top box, and when you get this, everything is laid out really nice for you. This really shows a lot to me when I open up something and a company has done a lot of work on making sure the presentation, the packaging is right, and they didn't just throw it in a box and stuff some void fill in there and those stupid peanuts and everything. This was done well. So it lets you know that when you open this up and you see the presentation right away, it lets you know that they're concerned about customer satisfaction and quality. So I think their packaging shows that. I'm going to explain this little kit here later, but they gave you all the nuts and bolts and screws and everything that you need for a starter. They've got sleeves for the conduit, but look at here how they've got this package really nice. So on Maker Pipe, you can take EMT conduit and you can make about any project. They have a community build page, and I think it's really cool to see some people have built like beds for their campers. They've built different things for the gardening, photography, jigs. You name it. Everybody's cut. I even seen a guy had a bicycle cart on there. So anyway, I just wanted back to the packaging. They give you a cutter in the starter kit, and then a T-handled hex driver to tighten up your bolts, and then all the fittings. So just want to take a look. Want you to take a look at that. Really done, really nice in a skin pack, so everything stays nice and organized. They have two different layers to this box here, and then here's the 90s and 45s and the straight edges. I think it's just really done well. So hey, hats off to Maker Pipe for really laying this out really nice. All right, I paused you for a minute there while I kind of put things up there on top of the van and kind of noodled it out as to what I had to do. Now, one of the things is I'm attaching it to the current rack. And so the current rack, the one that come on the van, is bowed and it's a little bit odd. So I had to cut things a little bit differently. I've got them all laid out here pretty much how I want it to be. So this is the bottom piece, and then there'll be a piece above it. So right now what you got is I've got an area right here for my fantastic, so I've got this all noodled out and figured out what I'm going to do, keeping in mind that the shape of the van is curved and it's not symmetrical. So I had to make some different cuts in different areas to make this work out all right. So what I have right here is an area set up for my max air fan, and then my solar panel is going to fit here on this end, and then this is just going to be space up here because on the front I've got to mount a light bar up there. So that's what it is. Let me show you how these fittings go together. I think you'll find it interesting. So right here you can see here's just a piece of pipe I've got to use it as an example, and you can see they've got like a kind of like a jigsaw puzzle end on these, and it actually is two halves. that come together. And what you do is you put these together and then you run the bolt through and tighten it up. Let me show you how you do that. So you just put this over the end. You put your jigsaw pieces together like that, and then you just run your screw through there. And it has a nut on the back side that's kind of like a special nut, and that you don't even need a wrench to put that on there. You just put it on there and kind of hand tighten it, and then you just slide these things over whatever you're working on. I think they're very ingenious little contraption there, and you just tighten it up with the T-handle that's provided for you, and you can see it makes a really good connection. Now I don't have another piece of pipe on there, but you get the point. That's how they go together. Yeah, pretty nice little setup here. Let me give you a close-up of how it goes together. So you can see how they fit together. What you have to do is you have to cut off, you have to take your measurement, and then you got to cut off 2 inches off the measurement to allow for the fitting, because the pipe doesn't go all the way down into the fitting. But so for example, if you needed a piece 24 inches, because there's a connector on each end, you'd have to cut off 4 inches, so you'd make the pipe 20 inches. But it actually is quite stable and quite strong once you tighten those things down. Yeah, let's continue on the project. Okay, here's the base finished product. You can see it. I'm going to add another layer on top of here, another rack, if you might say. But you can see I made room there for my fan. I've got the space in between here where the solar panels are going to go, and then up here on the front, the light bar is going to mount recessed inside that. And yeah, we're moving right along. It actually doesn't take long at all. It would have gone a lot faster had the just but for the curvature of the van. You had to pretty much custom cut each one, but I spared you all the details of that. Let's get back down here and get to work on the next layer. All right, this worked out pretty good here. I've got this matched up. I went ahead and put my brackets on the solar panel. Now I'm going to take the solar panel off, and this will be the last thing I do before we fasten it down to the van, but I just want to make sure it fits. So I've got some self-tapping screws I'm going to put in here, and this should be nice and secure. Now I got to tell you something. This is a brand new solar panel. If you remember, I had a solar panel on my Runaway, and I had that held on with VHB tape for 4 years maybe. No problems at all. I decided to take it off the Runaway and put it here on the van, and I mounted it the same exact way, and within 2 weeks I lost the solar panel. I heard a thud and I was like, what was that? And I got home and looked at the gates. I was like, I'm not getting any solar. Well, it's because I left my solar panel about 100 miles away on the highway someplace. Of course, it's probably ruined. I want to make sure I mount this really good. I've held stuff on with VHB tape, and a lot of installations they say you could use it. I don't think I'll do that anymore. Just the thought of somebody could have got hit by that thing or something, it would have really bothered me. So this I'm going to make sure is mounted really good. So all right, we got our solar panel in, and now I'm going to take it back out and we're going to work on the top half. As I was saying before, you have to allow 2 inches for each connector. So I'm going to have to subtract 4 inches from this length in order for this fitting to sit on top of the next one. So I'm going to cut this pipe at 92 inches, and if my calculations are right, this should look pretty good. Well, it's a new day here. So since the last segment, several days have transpired. We actually had a snowstorm move through. We got about, I don't know, 12, 13 inches of snow out there. I've got all this crap in the garage. Oh my goodness, it's making it hard to work in here. But I gotta say, I'm still having fun with this maker pipe project. So I kind of put a little hold on things because of the snowstorm, and I needed a few extra parts. I called Maker Pipe, and they were kind enough to expedite me out. A couple more fittings left, so I'm really happy with the way it is turning out. Let me show you. So one of the things I like about this is that you can trial fit all these pieces in here. So I actually, at first, I put 6-inch risers on this, put it up on the van, and decided, it's like, yeah, it's stuck up too tall. I didn't like it. So I took them out, and I'm redoing it here with a smaller riser in here. I would say that, you know, that's one of the advantages of this thing. If you're just kind of like tweaking as you go, and it's kind of like building an erector set, where, I mean, I can weld, so I could have done this, but I would have had to tack it all up and try it, and this really worked out good. So yeah, I'm pleased with the way it's going here. I've got all my stuff laid out. And like I said, I got a mess in the garage, but it's the only place I got that's warm. So what I got is I got this measured out here. My solar panel is going to fit there. I may have to end up moving this support because I'm not quite sure the solar panel will fit there. We'll check that out in a minute, but yeah, it's coming pretty good. So right here would be the front, and I've got a light bar that's going to go there. And then we're just going to set this whole thing up on top of the van here when I'm done. And then we've got floodlights for the side. So basically, we're not going to be storing much of anything up here. It's just to hold the light bars up and the solar panels. And I may end up putting a small deck on the back here for a gearbox. So my fantastic fan's about right there. And so then I would have just a gearbox here, just for some stuff that I don't use very often. But yeah, this, I can't say enough good stuff about the Maker Pipe. I'm having a really good time with it. So let me get back to work. I just thought I'd give you an update here. Well, just as I feared here, I put this cross brace in here, and it just makes it really tight on the solar panel. I am fearful that it's not going to allow for expansion and contraction and kind of put that in a bind. So I'm going to take this cross member here, and I'm going to move it probably up here to the front on the other side so it doesn't put the solar panel in a bind. But other than that, it looks pretty good. So that's a good thing about it, is like, it's not permanent. You can move these connectors if you need to accommodate what you need. So let's move that and see what it turns out like. All right, this is laid in really nicely. I'm really happy. It is so sturdy, and I mean it's not going anywhere. The thing I like about these connectors is you can make tweaks and adjustments and move things around as you go. Like I said before. Now, what I done was I put each one of these all together, and just like when you're torquing anything, I just kept going around and torquing, not tightening. Like, don't start in one spot and tighten that down. You just keep snugging, and then you go on your last pass. You can really put the torque on it. So yeah, that turned out pretty good. I got plenty of clearance here now for my solar panel to expand and contract if we need to. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm going to pop some self-tapping screws in there, and that'll be all set. So yeah, that turned out pretty good. I'm going to turn my attention now to getting my light bar mounted. I purposely had this like this here, not even. I'm thinking that in between the the light bar. I may have to put like a windshield or something there, kind of make a ramp, but yeah, it's turned out really nice. Can't wait. I got so many other projects I got in my mind, but this is really a game changer for me. All right, here's the update. We have the rear view light mounted on there, so that's all going to be switch controlled. And what I'm trying to do is make this where I can just disconnect and lift this whole utility rack off here. So if I was to want to put it in the garage or something like that, it won't fit. So got that mounted. I got my cell phone booster on there, and that can disconnect. I've got my solar panels on there. I have a room here for another solar panel. If down the line I want to put that on there. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to see if I can get by. I actually have been getting by for a year without solar at all. So anything here is an addition. So, and then I've got my light bar at the front all mounted to the rack, and I have switches on the panel in my van, and I have the wires all ran with the relays and everything, so that's all ready to go. Alrighty, I think what I'm going to do is straighten up the garage just a little bit, because I got a really big mess here, and then I got some other things in mind. Alright, what I did was I flipped the van around in the garage and came out there. I just got this sitting up there, but as you can see, this is going to sit down between the rails, and I'll probably put some bolts or something in here to hold it onto the current rails that are here. I am waiting on Amazon to get here for my other lights. So I got a floodlight on this side and a floodlight on that side. I've checked the package that's out for delivery, so I am going to head off into another project here. So I took this rack back down, and let me show you what's going on here. So I had it up on top of the van. We dry fitted it. Everything is working really good. I was not going to paint this, and Nancy came out and she felt like it just looked too utilitarian, like a work truck without being painted. So I kind of agree with her. Now that I'm starting to paint it, it looks a little bit better that it's painted black. So I've had really good luck with this. Let me show you what I got here. I got this, it's an oil-based paint. It's a Rust-Oleum product. And I've put this on some of my other projects that I've worked on, some of my welded projects, and it holds up pretty good. So I made a quick reference to the Maker Pipe YouTube site, and I seen that recently Jake on there had tested some paints, and I didn't want to spray paint in the garage here because I don't want the overspray. And so I did exactly like he suggested to prep that. So I would check that out on the YouTube site on Maker Pipe. I used the citrus cleaner first and got all the labels off, and then I took rubbing alcohol and cleaned it, and then I kind of roughed the surface up a little bit with a Scotch pad. So no use in showing you all that. So anyway, I am going to get this all painted, and then what we're going to do is I'll come back in the morning and kind of go over some spots if I see some that I missed. Still got my side lights to put on, but man, I'm coming in the home stretch here. I finally completed this project, or maybe, I don't know. Now that I have it outside, I've got some other ideas and some things I'm thinking about. Looking at where I got my light bar at the top there, I think I'm gonna get some plastic or something to make a windshield for that, so that the air diverts above. And I've got some ideas, and I think this thing's still a work in progress. So I got all my lights mounted, they all work. Got my cell phone booster attached to that. Let me jump up here and show you what I did with the solar panel. Hey, so you see I got my solar panel mounted up there really well. This is something that's really concerned to me because I actually lost the solar panel off this van once before. I didn't have it mounted good enough. So yeah, really happy with the way it turned out. The lights work. I got floodlights on each side and in the back, and my fantastic fan, and the whole works. I mean, it's really great. So I can highly recommend this. I know that once I got outside, I painted this, so once I got outside, I see a couple spots here I need to touch up on the paint, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. This project was really a lot of fun, and you know, not very hard. Maker Pipe makes it really easy for you to get all the pieces you need, and you can kind of engineer as you go. If you make a mistake, you just undo it. So I really like it. I got some ideas on some other stuff I'm going to add. Hey, check out my description below. I'm going to put down some of the parts I used. If you need to order the parts, you want to make this same rack, why do so, but check out the Maker Pipe community build page. I think you'll find all their ideas very interesting. So hey, thanks for watching my build. I appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel if you get a chance, and follow Nancy and Herky and I on our big adventure. Appreciate it.